Official sound check.
Official sound check.
Fish.
A
Fish.
fish.
A fish.
Will sound check.
Ols sound check.
Fish will sound check.
Fish. Ol. Fish.
Oh, man.
Gefilte fish.
Yeah.
Gefilte fish. Okay.
Sounds good, though. Looks good.
It looks good. It sounds good.
Think
It
it's
feels good. It might
Comfortable?
be good. You need to be closer, man.
I don't want to be closer.
You always come in so low on the
I feel
mics,
like I'm
man,
coming
and
in
I
good.
sound like I'm yelling.
Yeah, it does look like you're yelling.
Yeah, it looks like I'm
Oh, well,
yelling.
we're going to have to make it like that.
We're going to have to make it
Just
like that,
whisper a little
folks.
bit.
He don't care.
No, I don't.
He don't care.
I am here.
He said,
What time is it?
I
7
is.
o'clock on
On
the
the
dot.
dot, I'm
under
in my
drop
drop
top. Cruising the streets.
No, we're going to get copyright.
No copyright infringement.
All right, Usher, next time. I got you, bros. All right, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
I've been ready. I was born ready.
Who started it last time? You?
I mean, I usually started.
No, I started it last time.
Are you sure? Because I think if you listen back to our previous
Oh my God! All right,
episode,
we're gonna start it right now. Hello. Welcome everybody to another episode of Project Airwaves. This is Lynn.
This is D.
Back at it again.
Swiggity swooty.
2027.
Coming for that booty.
We're calling it 27 today. Today's episode is gonna be a little bit more lax. I guess I don't know.
No, it's
Serious
gonna
or-
be different.
Are we hitting
Let's
different?
call it different.
How would you clarify it as being different?
No, we're gonna be getting a little more intra-personal.
Okay.
You know, considering me and Lynn are kind of introvert-ish, while we do deal with people on a daily basis, Lynn more so
Yes.
than me. I used to be in that, part of that work career area, whatever you want to call it. It kind of teaches you to be a people person where you watch and you're observing people, but also it kind of teaches you to look inward and see, like, what is it about myself that maybe I don't like, or maybe something that I want to change. And so when me and Lynn were talking, sitting down talking, trying to figure out what do we want to go over today, something popped in my head right away. And I wanted to talk about the 7 stages of grief. And so for a lot of you, if you're unfamiliar, the 7 stages of grief can apply to a multitude of things throughout your life.
Numerous things.
For me, I'm going to be specifically focusing on the relationship portion of it, I guess you could say, like that particular realm, because I'm very familiar with failed relationships. Thankfully, I'm in a very successful, wonderful, blooming relationship, but I've had my fair share of bad run-ins with the bad type of woman,
Yeah,
unfortunately and
I
fortunately.
feel like we both have. I'm
You know what I
coming
mean?
out of the tail end of, I guess, more or less a complicated relationship. It's coming along the lines of you really got to figure out who you are as an individual opposed to who you are with that other person.
Yeah.
So you find ways to kind of, I don't know, develop like patterns, like, with the forms of grief. It's not so much like you said, when it comes to relationships, you're using grief as those 7 steps of what you do to get through it. A lot of people tend to jump back and forth, or they hold on to just a mid-step.
Some people can get stuck, yes.
Yeah, and it's for the same thing for me and most people. It's like anger is one of my biggest things that I have an issue with, and that is one of the 7 steps.
Oh, yeah, that is. And so for really quick rundown, for those of you who are unfamiliar, the 7 stages of grief are shock and or denial, guilt, anger, depression, kind of like the turning point after the depression, and finally acceptance. When I go through a relationship, it's about building yourself. It's about learning from past mistakes, potentially on your half or the other person's half, and trying to figure out what you can do to better yourself. When I go through my 7 stages, or at least in this my past serious relationship, I was in for about 4 years, and it was right out of another relationship of about 9.5 to 10 years. I didn't like to be single. I didn't want to be alone. And so I never gave my time to go through the full, I guess you could say, 7 stages. It's different for everybody. Some people may have 10, some people may have 3.
Yeah.
But, these 7 stages really apply in a lot of these situations I've been in. And so I realized that I never gave myself time to really go through the stages and give myself time to heal and recover and prepare to go into the next relationship, with my head on straight and thinking clear-minded. It was, I'm in pain, I'm alone, I don't like this, I don't want to be alone, I don't want to stay alone, so now I'm jumping ship into another
Which is funny is I use the people that are close to me, they know this very well, is I use like, not eulogies, I'll use references or phrases, or I'll give out scenarios. I have a lot of scenarios that I'll pick out to kind of, I don't know how to explain in detail, because I feel like people don't know me enough to know where I'm coming from, so I'll break things down into how I talk. So I'll use the ship as a platform saying, if I'm in a relationship and I'm in the middle of the ocean, I'm treading water, I find a boat being AKA that person. Their boat is, it's a little paddle boat, nothing too fancy. My boat sank and wrecked, and I'm still trying to figure out how to piece it together. So, I jump on shore with that person on that boat because I don't want to tread water by myself for long because I'm going to drown.
Right.
Which is dealing with like the feeling of just being alone. So when you get on that boat, you turn that paddle boat into electrical boat. You got nice rows and oars and stuff like that, and then you turn it into a big boat, and then it's next thing you know is a freaking cruise ship.
Yes.
You've got an establishment, a home, a house, a foundation. But what happens is the boat being rushed to be built starts to get little leaks and cracks and things start to fall apart. So this boat that was keeping you afloat starts to slowly sink back into the water. And as the co-founder of that boat, you get that mental fight or flight, like, fuck, should I stay here and fix the boat?
Right.
Keep it together, or should I jump ship,
right.
tread water, see how far I can get until I can find another freaking boat? What happens is we get in this loop, especially me, where when one boat sinks, I start to tread water to try and find the closest thing because I feel like I never taught myself how to swim.
Right. Even though we're fully equipped.
Oh, yeah, we're fully equipped. I'm fully equipped to swim to an island and build my own empire. Right. But I've gotten so accustomed to being in the ocean and going and reestablishing, aka a relationship, rebuilding a boat and everything like that's my comfort zone. Right. So I can't go through 7 stages of learning how to swim, aka your form of grief, because I've always gotten to stage 3 or 4 of like, all right, I'm going to find a way to make this work in my favor to where I don't have to deal with trying to learn how to swim.
Right. And that's the thing. And that's what we were talking about. People can get stuck in their own stages of grief or recovery. So when I go through a relationship, now that I'm older and I've been through some stuff, and it takes longer for you to heal from certain things because your mind's in a different place. You've lived some years, you're a little more tired than you were. Life's not as active as it once was. So some things can take a little bit longer to heal than others. And so getting back to what I was saying with my previous relationship, as soon as I got out of my 10-year relationship, I jumped right into this 4-year relationship.
Which is what we all do.
Which what we all do, right? Yeah. It's that fear of loneliness, fear of being alone. Like, I got my boys and everything, but my boys can only take me so far. I have needs. It became a thing where I latched on to this person because in the beginning, she was very helpful. I was going through some legal issues, and she helped me pay my rent after I lost my job and helped me keep up with my car note, things like that, take me out to eat, buy me gifts. It felt nice to be treated like a king when I felt like a lowly peasant living in the sewers. As the relationship grew, or at least as it grew in my mind, I wanted it to go deeper, but at the same time, I hadn't realized that I hadn't healed from my old wounds from my previous relationship. So I'm going in, it's almost like you went in with a full suit of armor. By the time the fight was done, you have like half of your suit of armor on and you're all covered in cuts and bleeding. And
you're not even, think about it like an RPG. How often do you have the same set of armor?
Right, you know what I mean?
From the first relationship, I've got a bronze shoulder pad, and then the next relationship, I've got a steel chest plate.
Right. Then, you're a mixed match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're bringing a mixed match.
So you're covered in cuts and shit like that. And what do? Instead of giving yourself time to heal, sleeping it off, recovering, getting a new set of armor, and going back into the fight, you take a quick shower, wash off the dirt and the grime, and then you jump right back into the battle. That's what I was doing. That's what I have been doing up until recently. It was just like fight after fight after fight. And in my mind, I'm like, relationships shouldn't be this difficult.
No, it shouldn't.
From how we grew up to understand things, a relationship in and of itself really should be self-sustaining as long as both parties are contributing to the overall completion of that relationship. So what I had to learn the hard way was not in every situation are both parties going to try. And if they are trying, it's not always they're trying equally. So it becomes a tug of war, becomes a power struggle, a potential conflict of interest because you want something so bad that you're not willing to budge, and that person is unwilling to give it to you. However, you don't realize that you're so unwilling to budge is because you have unresolved issues from your previous relationship or your previous situation that had they been resolved, you might have been more flexible, you might have been more understanding or confident in dealing with future situations. So a lot of stuff that came up, this particular relationship did turn out to be toxic and thankfully did end in time. As things went on, I realized that looking back, I slipped up a lot. not to deserve what that person had done to me per se, but I feel like I missed a lot of red flags. I missed a lot of opportunities to really let that person know where my mind was at, what I was really trying to do. And I can only say that now because in my current relationship, which after this past relationship, which I was saying was I was in for 4 years, I was single for about 2.5, 3 years finally, to give myself time to recover and kind of reconstitute, reformulate my plan of attack, because I love being in relationships, but I also don't love being, mistreated, taken advantage of, disregarded, you know what I mean?
I was talking to one of the guys at work today. I was working out at the beach, or the pool or whatever, and one of the guys was telling me, he tries really hard to get into a relationship, and with these relationships, he notices, is it just me? Why is it fluctuating so low?
Because you're not that close.
I am close.
There you go.
Oh, I have to yell.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta raise your voice.
I don't want to raise my voice.
Say it with your chest.
I don't want to say it with my chest. I feel like I'm yelling all the time at work.
Say it with your chest.
Oh, yeah, now look at it. Now it looks like a freaking earthquake is going off.
There you go.
So I was talking to one of the guys at work today, and he was kind of sharing his concerns with me about how he tries really hard to get in relationships, and he's a very unorthodox person. He does like the cosplay and stuff like that. Like he's really big on dressing up as Deadpool, which is one thing. But I mean, he spends money on these outfits. It's identical.
Oh yes, you put out like hundreds of dollars,
a lot of money. But he's a good guy. He's got a good heart. Like he tries. He's very funny, really cool to be around. He's very confident in his demeanor when it comes to talking to people. But because of that, he puts himself in situations to where girls that he is interested in are way above his level. Yeah. And he's not a bad looking guy, but with what happens is he really puts in his foot to try and make a relationship.
He goes after that forbidden fruit.
Yeah, and he's not going in there just to smash. Like he's like, I want to date this person. So he was trying to for the last couple months. He told me his thing was that he told me he'd been talking to this girl for 3 months, started kind of getting red flags that she was only talking to him for bits and pieces at a time, and then found out in between that she was already talking to another guy on another shift that was in security, and was semi with a guy that was also in security in another shift. Yeah. 1 day shift, 1 swing shift, 1 graveyard. Yikes. And she was married, but her husband was deployed. So that was giving
running the circuit.
So she was just doing a circuit. It was a CrossFit circuit. Damn. I look at him and I was like, well, how did I felt like a Dr. Phil thing. So how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel? And he told me, he goes, I'm fucking over it. He goes, I'm tired of being single, but at the same time, I feel like it's such a hassle to try and fight for it. And then, one of the guys that was with me, he told me, he goes, there's times, he's married with 2 kids. He's like, there's times, I have the temptation to want to be single, but then I see what people have to go through to get into a relationship. And he goes, and I don't want that. Right. So you personally, where do you sit? Where are the pros and cons to being single opposed to being in a relationship?
And that's a very valid question. So I'm going to quickly go through my 7 stages of grief on how I kind of came to this evolution to who I am now. The first stage of grief was shock and denial. I was definitely shocked when I finally decided to break up with her. So not only was I shocked at myself, because usually I'm not the one breaking up.
Oh, no, neither am I. Not a lot of people are.
So, that shocked me. But at first, the denial kind of came in. The denial was first before the shock, because it was just like, no, she's not doing that. She didn't just say that. Like, no, come on, man. And then it was the shock, like, oh shit, this is real. I have to do something about this because it's becoming toxic. The second stage was guilt, because I felt like I owed this person something. I said, she came to my rescue multiple times. Lynn knew her. We were all really close at that time.
Partially my fault, because I introduced you. Because I worked with her.
It's not about fault. I mean, it's just the type of women we meet in Vegas. They're whatever.
That's a topic.
It's right. Later show. But I felt like I had to pay her back, and the way I was paying her back was to endure through some of the most ridiculous shit any man should ever have to be put through for a female. Just really quick, it got so bad at one point. She was cheating on me. We were at her father's house. It got so bad that this dude had called her over 50 times, sent her over 30 voice messages and 60 text messages. Jesus. He finally got tired of calling her and decided to come to the door, knocking on the door. This girl tried to convince me that this person was there for her sister, until he started screaming her name at the door. And at that point, it was just like, wow. Like,
oh yeah, that
fuck.
checks you in like
shit.
All right, we are.
You know what I mean? So then after that, the guilt was gone. At that point I was angry, but I was angry because I felt like
Were you angry at yourself or you angry at her?
I was angry on both sides. The whole relationship is a double-edged sword, because if you don't handle it right, you're either going to cut yourself or you're going to cut the other person.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And so if you're unlucky, all parties get cut and nobody ends up happy. I was mad at her because I felt like I know I'm a good guy. I'm a good person, and a lot of people say that, but I genuinely mean that when I say I feel like I'm a good person. And so when certain things happen, I just don't feel like it's necessary for you to take out your issues on that person. Like, I felt like an innocent bystander.
It's hard, man. It's
what I mean?
really, really, really hard to try not to suppress your urge to want to.
It is.
I don't know what it is.
But like I said, because I hadn't let myself heal from the past relationship, the wound was now twice as big, because it wasn't hitting me that I needed to slow the fuck down and give myself time to collect myself. So I was already a broken glass being put into service in another situation where I'm just going to get broken again. It's like being a mirror passed around to angry people. What do angry people do when they look in the mirror? They punch the fucking mirror. So I became a mirror reflecting them towards themselves, saying, look, this is what you're doing wrong. I'm doing this wrong too. We're on even ground. So let's build off of that. Let's establish that we are both flawed people. Neither one of us are perfect, and start building from there. She didn't want that. She didn't really understand how a man could be so understanding of her situation, which was just mind blowing, but whatever.
Yeah, no, you become a unicorn to them.
Right.
Unique
it made no sense. So then, of course, after I got angry, I tried to beg for her to come back and, give me another chance. And, I really think we can make this work if you just, and she, one of the last times we met up, she literally told me, we can't work on getting back together. Okay. Let me give you some premise. She was in another relationship at that time. Just a few months after we broke up, she was in another relationship. And she told me we couldn't work on us because I had an unfair advantage, because me and her had history and her and this new dude don't. So I have an unfair advantage. Okay, cool. So then the depression kicked in, because I'm just sitting here going, none of this makes any sense. And it's hitting me twice as hard, 3 times, 4 times as hard as it should have, because I'm still suffering from my past situation. So then it became a downward spiral of self-hatred, self-destruction, self-sabotage, somewhat not necessarily self-mutilation, is more of psychologically tormenting myself by forcing myself into physically uncomfortable situations just so I could feel bad and hate myself. And that went on for a good 6 months to a year of me being single after that relationship. Of course, I had my run-ins with, ex-girlfriends and things like that. I had my urges and my itches that needed to be scratched here and there. But thankfully, I found someone along the way who kind of helped me through that time, not in a relationship standpoint, but just as like an emotional support.
Right.
So after that time, I had to rebuild myself, because I was going through the, fuck women, fuck relationships, fuck love, fuck me. I'm not worth it. I don't deserve people's love. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve that. And I lost a lot of surface friends, I like to call them, like the people that just chill on the surface waiting. They're like fish. They're waiting for you to feed them.
Your inner circle of people that you tend to keep. You have the I was going to say rim jobs. You have the rim of people on the outskirts of your. I took away the whole seriousness out of that. You have your rim jobs on the outside that they tend to want to hover. Like I don't know how to explain it. I've always had this issue of I'm a people pleaser.
Yes.
So
yes, we are. Sure.
I expand myself out to try and make everybody happy around me when I should be focusing more on what's making me happy and the people that are in my inner circle.
Yes.
And until recently, till I got a little bit older, I started seeing the people that are around me consistently, whether I'm in a good mood or a bad mood, whether I'm having my maximum greatness to my lowest of my low. Those are the ones that I want to keep close.
Right.
So then even at my job, like everybody's more or less intimidated by me, not just because, I can fuck shit up, but it's more along the line of these people are afraid of me because my persona shows off that I don't say a whole lot.
Yeah, like you don't feel anything.
I don't feel a whole lot. Right. I have no emotion. It just shuts down because I used to be very energetic in the life of the party. We used to have parties all the time.
Yeah.
Always go out and set up events and have these big parties and pay out of pocket.
Became adults.
And then it just like, when I started doing it, I was like, dude, all this stuff that I was doing, it all reverted to me just, all right, well, I'm still alone and by myself.
Right.
Or I have my group of people, and all the rim jobs are out in the fucking in the back bar, not really doing anything for me anymore. Yes. So you start to get to that point of like, why am I entertaining these people that aren't doing anything to help me be better?
Right, and that's where the depression part was really kicking my ass, because I know anybody listening to this, and I've seen our analytics. So you're 23 to 28 years old, and with that much life experience, you've been depressed once or twice. With going through depression, you tend to want to stoke the fire. So whatever direction your emotional energy is pointed, you tend to stoke the fire so that you can keep up that feeling. Well, some of us unfortunately tend to point in a negative direction from time to time, and we feel the need to continue to stoke that fire. And so I beat myself down really hard, and thankfully Lynn came around and was like, yo, what are you doing to fix yourself? What are you doing to better yourself? And I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. I want to go to the gym, but yada yada. He was like, all right, cool. And this is, you can hear this. I told this story back in some of our like earliest episodes. Lynn bought me a membership to the gym and was like, look, you need to improve your fucking self-image before you think about getting involved with anybody else. Mm-hmm. If you can't love yourself, you can't expect somebody to love you and then exceed your expectations, because you're not even putting in the 50% that you need to just get them over the hump.
I said that?
You said something similar to that.
I didn't know that. I sound so smart.
You have your moments.
I have
bros.
My moments.
You have your moments.
I'm not gonna.
So he got me a gym membership, and he's kicking my ass in the gym. But I needed that to happen to show myself that, look, yeah, you are weak right now, but you can become stronger if you keep to it, if you stick with it. It's just so funny, because in the gym, failure is a good thing. Mm-hmm. Muscle failure means you gave it your 110%. You have nothing more to give. You are at muscle peak, maximum lift failure. That's it. You're done.
Which is crazy, is that when you start to compare how the gym can be similar to life, failure is good, because when you fail in the gym and you're tearing your muscles down, you're building them to grow, and it's creating growth. The same thing in life. When you're failing in a relationship or your day-to-day mundane tasks,
exactly,
you're gonna grow from it if you learn to adapt to become a better version of that.
Right. So because we create habits. Our brain is a muscle. You know what I mean? You create mental exercises for your mind to go through on a day-to-day routine, and as you go, your mind finds more efficient ways to do its day-to-day routine, because it's a muscle. That's what it's doing. It's working out. It's exercising. And so through going to the gym and seeing my body fluctuate, becoming more what I wanted it to be, I began to see that it's not about stop waiting for somebody else to give me worth. I have to give myself worth, and then I have to let the person know I demand you treat me at this level of worth. Anything less than is unacceptable.
It's hard, dude. Like,
it's difficult.
I've gotten to that point now where it's like I start to put my foot down, because I was I still relatively am a percentage of it. I become a yes man.
Yeah, you're a pushover.
I'm like, all right, I don't want to do something, but if they're want to do it, I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
Like, I would rather not
hurt your feelings.
I don't want to hurt your feelings, right? I don't want to cause a fight. I would try to avoid the confrontations and the fights, which would make the late relationship last way fucking longer. But at the end of the day, there'd be a lot of resentment. Yeah, miserable resentment, doubt. So I got to the point now where it's like, a lot of girls don't like to be told no. So when you tell them like, no, I don't want to do it, they throw a fucking fit. It becomes a clusterfuck. Well, why are you saying no now? I was like, because I don't want to do it. Well, why? I don't feel like it.
And that's to really, give you some background of what Lynn's talking about, just really quick, because a lot of people don't know our history like that. When me and Lynn go through shit, it's deep shit. We don't. It's never like, oh no, I accidentally told my girlfriend a little white lie and now she's mad at me. It's like, bros, I kind of fucked around and I kind of fucked up and kind of hating myself right now. But at the same time, the women we unfortunately used to attract would put us in those situations. And no, I'm not completely taking the blame off of ourselves. I and Lynn hold ourselves fully accountable for any and all actions we did in that relationship. However, certain things were done beforehand to kind of cause us to go down that dark path of, I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing. I'm doing things I'm uncomfortable with, but it feels good because I feel a certain type of way. And you almost want to hurt that person to let them know how much they hurt you. And so with me and Lynn, a lot of the girls we've been with, they're, let's just call them higher end girls. They're high maintenance. Let's just be honest. We've had some high maintenance ass girlfriends.
Trophy wives.
Lynn goes after the perfect 10s. I go after the perfect 8s. And we always meet somewhere in the middle. And so, a lot of these girls are used to, with their past, are used to be told yes. They're used to being given every single fucking thing they want, no matter what. It will be given to them one way or another. And so with me and Lynn, we're a little more grounded when it comes to life and finance romances and, you know, going out and partying and shit like that. You know, we lived a lot of life from like 18 to 23. I would say me and Lynn got a whole bunch.
About to say, I honestly didn't slow down till 26.
Right. We've lived like 2 or 3 lifetimes.
Yeah. It wasn't like just the basic shit. We were doing
dumb shit. A whole bunch of
shit.
And so with these girls, they were demanding so much of us. And yes, we could give, but when we asked for it back, we weren't receiving. And that's a problem. A relationship has to be more than just good dick, than just good pussy, than just, oh, hey, he's really romantic. Hey, she really knows how to, you know, stroke my ego. It's got to be deeper than that. And so I was trying to get something that wasn't there. I was trying to go deeper in a pool that was only 4 feet deep. I was trying to get to the 6 foot deep side where I could, you know, float in the water and have a little bit of fun. But this pool wasn't that deep. This was the kiddie pool, and it wasn't going no deeper than 4 feet. So I was looking for something that I wasn't going to find, and I was forcing myself. Lynn as well was forcing himself to endure a negative, toxic situation because we saw the potential for what the situation could be. That's where that's where you sharpen your double-edged sword, is with the potential, because anybody can see the potential in something. Just because you see the potential in that person doesn't necessarily mean that person wants to live up to that potential.
Correct.
And so that's where me and Lynn got a lot of our battle scars, where these people, these women, were not living up to what we saw they could be and what they wanted themselves to be. So it wasn't like I want you to be this and you're going to be that way no matter what. It was, they told us what they wanted and we did everything we could to make it happen. And so when it wasn't happening, or when it was happening, it was almost like it backfired on us. Like they would get mad at us for showing them the light. Like, you can be better.
It's a form of constructive criticism. I'm very dominant when it comes to using that, is that if I feel like there's an opportunity for someone to better themselves, I give them that form of constructive criticism.
You have
to become better, to do more, to challenge themselves. And it comes the same thing with relationships. I've been told time and time again is that I have a lot of people that I tend to be with. I'm an alpha. I'll take over the situation and scenario, and I'll put them in an uncomfortable situation
if you have
to better themselves. And they do. They grow. And every relationship I've been in, I've never been with someone that is just automatically perfect.
No.
Like, I know they're at the bottom. I know that they're struggling. So I get them up to that level because I would hope they would do the same for me. And what happens is that you nudge them out of that uncomfort zone.
Yes.
Of the comfortable zone. And, you know, the constructive criticism and the sarcasm and the directness becomes, all right, you know, you're kind of being a dick now. But then they'll go and do it.
Right.
And then, like, the equivalent of saying, like, trying to get your partner to go train at the gym. Like, oh, I'm only going to do 15 to 20 pounds of something. And they want to do it forever. And I'm like, well, your body can't grow without putting it under strain. In order to put it under strain, you got to lift more weight. You put weight on. They're like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You're being mean. This is too heavy. All right, you know, here's 20 pounds. Here's 25 pounds. Just do this one time. If you can do it one time, I'll leave you alone. And then they do it. And then they get better and better. Next thing you know, they're doing like 40, 50 pounds.
Yes.
Their body's changing. Their mental state's changing. They're becoming mentally and physically
because
stronger.
Because you push them, now you're a problem.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thank you for this. But at the same time, I don't like that you pushed me in that direction. Go fuck
yourself.
So it's like, all right, well, I've always used this euphemism on multiple occasions where I competed down to the rabbit hole of Alice in Wonderland, is that if I'm in a relationship, I know where my mental is going and I know from point A to point B where I need to be.
Yes.
And when I find somebody 9 out of 10, when we meet in a relationship, they don't know what the fuck they're doing with their lives.
Yes.
So I tell you, it's like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I want to see what Wonderland leads to.
Yeah.
You can come with me.
Yeah.
You either need to match me in speed so we can get there,
right,
or you need to tell me what it is you need to plan so we can take a detour route and work on your thing.
Right.
But if you don't have a plan, I'm not just going to stay here and float in limbo.
No.
On the other side, when what was the Matrix? It was the red pill that put you in the Matrix, and the blue pill got you out of it.
I think it was shit.
Yeah,
oh no, I forgot. I think it was the blue pill that got you out. The red pill let you stay.
Yeah. So it's like, I want to take the red pill because I want to. No.
You want to take the blue pill because you want to get out.
I want to get out, and I want to actually see what the world actually is.
Right.
I don't want to just keep taking the fucking red pill and be like, all right, this is my life.
Right.
I'm gonna live it day by day. 9 to 5, come home, go to work, come home, go to work.
Yeah, be a zombie.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't like that, get comfortable with being uncomfortable mindset.
No.
If you're not willing to push yourself outside of the box.
Because they don't have to nowadays.
No, they don't.
Now we have all these luxuries and shit.
It is, man.
People just don't feel the need to try hard. And, like I said before, we're not bashing on all women. We're just talking about the relationships we've been in. And I've had, now when I say I've had shit taken from me, I'm not talking about, oh no, I woke up with a broken heart. No, I literally had my entire apartment cleaned the fuck out by my ex-fiance.
You had a pair of Superman shoes. Didn't I get those for you?
No, you didn't. Thank you, though. Thank you for so, no, that was the new girl.
Was it?
The new girl bought.
Oh, yeah.
She bought me. Thank you for
lid.
opening up that wound.
I forgot, but weren't they like lit on fire?
The new girl.
Yeah, the Chucks.
So this was me going through my phases of depression in between relationships, but I never went through all the phases like I told you. So in between getting out of my 9-year relationship and going into my 4-year relationship, I was kind of going through that anger phase, and I just became a pompous asshole. So I had my new girl come over while my old girl was there. Old girl got pissed off. One thing led to another.
Because you guys were roommates at that time.
Yeah, we were roommates still. So one thing led to another. I couldn't come home for a few days. This fucking female not only moved all her shit out, left my door unlocked, apparently sent out a blast or told a bunch of our surrounding apartmenters that they could just come in and take whatever they want, which was all of my shit.
Yeah, it was all open season. Yeah.
So please believe me when I'm not just sitting here on a soapbox being like, yeah, it broke my heart. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is we've had some bad experiences. However, had we taken the time after those bad experiences to, like I said, redirect ourselves to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like kind of redesign our floor plan, you know what I mean? Build from the ground up on ourselves. Had I taken time to focus inward instead of forcing everything outward, I probably would have been way better prepared and probably not have jumped into that 4-year relationship had I given myself that breathing room, but I didn't. So of course it was, stroke my ego, make me feel good, make me feel like a king. I don't want to feel like I have to do too much work because I'm still kind of tired from that relationship. But let me know if you need something. I just kind of let it all go. And that was an even bigger problem because now I have, not only do I have an issue I haven't addressed from my past relationship, I am now turning that into a brand new issue into this new relationship and expecting this person who's pretty much a stranger to me to understand it and to help me get through it. And that's not right. I put something on her shoulders that she didn't ask for. And that I have to take accountability for. That was all me. I wanted her to fix my issues and I'm the only one that could fix my issues.
Right.
So after that relationship and after I finally allowed myself to go through all of the stages, I had a turning point. I had that aha moment where it's like light bulb, but it's just that situation where it's just like, shit, if I want better, I have to be better. And going to the gym, hanging out with Lynn, seeing him in his relationship at the time, seeing all my other friends around me kind of just having their own little pieces of success. It's like, damn, I have to change the way I think. It's not that I don't deserve a good woman. It's that I haven't raised myself up to the level where a good woman would notice my happy ass. So of course I'm attracting all the bottom feeders, all the, the girls that are, I'm sorry to say, the girls that are broken, that have just been through something, some type of trauma, some type of situation that they just can't seem to recover from. I haven't gone through those situations, so I can't empathize with you on that level. So off top, we're already starting off on two different footings here, and we need to find some level of commonality. But I wasn't. Yeah, it's kind of like a synchronicity. You know what I mean? I wasn't giving myself time to readjust. And so after I took that 2 to 3 year break of being single, I finally came around to the last step of accepting the fact that, what is and what was. I'm not a bad person and they are not bad women. We just made bad decisions and this relationship couldn't handle it.
I'm sorry, I was just looking at a motivational quote where we're saying everyone is, it's weird that it popped up at the same time we were talking about this. Everyone has gone through something that has changed them in a way that they could never go back to the person they once were.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's weird that popped up.
And that's literally the 7 stages of grief all off top.
Yeah.
When you come to that acceptance and you accept the fact that you are a good person and you have a lot to offer somebody else, it does. It gives you a new pair of eyes, a new set of glasses. It kind of helps refocus your perspective because your vision can become blurred by negative emotions and feelings to where you won't allow yourself to reach that turning point that leads to acceptance. A lot of people just get stuck in that anger and that depression and that guilt, and they just get stuck in those three and they never come out of it, and they just keep dragging it from one relationship to another. And then they procreate, so now their kids are getting to deal with it and everybody around their children's dealing with it, and it just becomes a vicious cycle of anger, depression, hatred, guilt. But you never gave yourself a chance to heal. You never gave yourself a chance to be like, look, it's okay. You know what I mean? I've made a bad decision. I'm sorry. And I'm a better person for it. I said this thing I shouldn't have said, and I'm sorry. I'm a better person for it. And now going into my next relationship, I can put those lessons to work. I can put those, almost like I can put those bleeding scars to rest because I've healed. So it's not a matter of, okay, am I opening up an already open wound bigger? It's more of, I've tended to my wounds. I've rested. I've given myself time to rethink my strategy. Okay, time to get back into it. And that's exactly what it was. And I found the woman I'm with now, and I've been with her for a little over 4 years, thankfully, and everything is going way better than any of my past relationships. But had I not let myself reach that turning point of positivity where I just accepted what happened without any strings attached, I just accepted it. I don't hate you. I might dislike you. I don't want you dead. I don't, nothing like that. I want you to be just as wealthy, healthy, and successful as I want to be. You know what I mean? Love, peace, and chicken grease. We have to accept it and move on. And that's what helped me become a better person. So, you know, I really wanted to get into this because a lot of people, like I said, they get stuck in those 3 stages and they never let themselves come out of it because they're too busy beating themselves up. You know, like me and Lynn always say, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, man. Like, give yourself a minute to breathe and accept that, you know, what you've done, you may not have liked. What that other person did, you may not have liked. But guess what? What happened has happened. How are you going to make yourself better from it? How are you going to build off of that? Really quick, you know, I just, you know, I want to apologize to Lynn because I wasn't originally, this was not my idea. Yeah. This was his idea. I was going to let him run the show.
No.
And then he got me thinking.
I figured, which is funny, is we both started talking and said, okay, so this episode's not going to be about a tangent. And 9 out of 10, almost every single time, it turns into a tangent. Which, I mean, you guys listen, so
and I'm hoping this stuff's helping.
It's relatable. It's because it's not like you're just talking about nonsense that people don't relate or communicate with. Everybody, when I talk to people about this, like, oh, you know, I went through or I'm going through the exact same shit.
Yeah,
so
you know what I mean. This isn't to bash people.
No, it's a compare and contrast. It's good. It's something that people need to hear because a lot of times people have it on their mind and they don't know how to cope with it because they think they're the only ones going through it.
Yes.
I mean, what we started this podcast on more than anything was, what is it? It was like mental health and just wellness, self-improvement, being a better individual. Yeah, you know, we still cover current events and we try to make you guys laugh and add in little bits of things here and there, but it always revolves back to being a good person, being a hardworking motherfucker,
fuck yeah,
taking care of the people that are in your life, you know, being a loved one, being a father, being a mother, being a parent, being whatever, you know,
loving yourself.
Exactly. Being whatever you need to be 100% of yourself, regardless if you feel like you're not what other people want. As long as you're being 100% of that, it's better than just not trying at all. Because I'm sorry, but I can't be that person that I start to get stir crazy. If I'm coming home, I go to work, come home, eat, shower, play a game, watch a movie, go to bed, rinse, wash, and repeat. If that becomes a consistency, you know, and I will bitch about it from time to time that I feel like I do too many things at once. Right. Like even before D came here today, like, you know, I got at work at 5:45, got to work at 6:30. There was a whole clusterfuck of just being scheduled wrong and trying to figure shit out. By the time I got off, I drove all the way across town to go to the chiropractor to have them work on me because I've been having like an impingement issue in my shoulder. Went home, showered, came back, did that again, did the whole haircut, came back home, started doing dishes and cleaning. Dee's here now.
Hi.
And we're recording now. I'm going to eat. I still got to clean and do laundry, and then I got to go to bed and redo the same fucking thing again. So I've always had this time where it's like, I'm not doing a bunch of crazy exotic things, but every moment of my life I'm doing...
It matters.
I'm doing
you
something.
Make it count.
I'm making it count. If I don't make it count and I just come home and do nothing, I go to bed thinking, fuck, I just wasted a day.
Right. And this is a turn.
This is a turn, yeah.
This is a turn for Lynn. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like he said, we're people pleasers. He's always been, okay, what's my girl doing? What do we got going on? You know, my girl's got this going on. She's got that going on. You know, he works his lifestyle around his woman. And that's, you know, because that's just how we were brought up. Treat your woman like a queen. And so with him being in the situation he's in, he's taking more time to focus on himself. And it's good because now it's a construction of, instead of, like he said, jumping from one boat to another, one burning ship to another, he's building his own boat. And now somebody can jump into his boat.
Yes, I think
you know what I mean?
It's come to the point, I've got tired of treading water and I can swim, but I'm tired of going into somebody else's house, aka another relationship, and reestablishing when I want to be the one sitting there with my boat and everything built the way I want it to, so someone's coming to me. Right. Because I noticed that with every relationship we've gone to, it's us chasing the other person.
Yes.
Not us being chased.
Right.
So you gotta, like I said, train your body body, train your mind, train your spirit, train your emotions.
Yes.
I need to be fortified in a whole version, so when someone does come to finally want to do something with me, or they are there, I'm already established. So if they go, I'm like, okay,
good.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm fine.
And when they come on, you're not an emotional fucking wreck either.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
You know that the person that's coming in doesn't deserve your bullshit from the past relationship.
They don't. No. You know what I mean? That's not fair to you, and that's not fair to them. So, I hope, guys, I really hope this kind of helps giving you some enlightenment. If you're going through a situation, it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. But if you happen to find yourself repeating the cycle, those stages of grief, and you're trying to hit that turning point, reflect inward. Take a minute, take a step back, get a feel of your surroundings, and then, change your plan of attack, gain a new perspective, go at it again. You know what I mean? Somebody famous, and I'm sorry, I'm really bad at, quoting famous people, but it's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome. That is what we do every day on a daily basis. We are insane. And so now it's time to get a little more sane, and it's time to take our heads out of the clouds, get our feet on the ground, and push through whatever stronghold, whatever difficult situation we're going through. Whatever you're going through, and get to the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? Keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing.
You got to keep pushing. That's the only way you're going to be able to get the shit done that you need to get done. So we fluctuate with these episodes. Like I said, we hit the current events every once in a while. We hit these serious topics. We hit the funny topics.
Sometimes you're just going through shit.
I mean, I'm excited. Like I said, with again, we'll do the shout outs to the Patreons and everything for helping us out.
Thank you.
Now that we have actual funding coming through, we'll be able to start setting everything up. We're going to be able to, I'm already creating for the shirts that are going to come up once we get the page set up, since we already bought the domain. We're going to start pushing the merchandise out. Anybody that jumps in as a Patreon, I personally guarantee you I will send you a shirt or give you a shirt from myself
in the higher tiers.
Yes, in the higher tiers. I will pay out of pocket to make sure that we have fans that are loyal, because it becomes a community. I'm not just trying to reach for pocket change. If I wanted to do that, I would work the X amount of overtime that I'm already working.
For clout.
No, I'm not hunting for clout. Yeah, we don't need the fame. It's just nice to be able to have a community of people that can actually agree with us. I like when someone comes up to me and tells me, hey, I listened to your podcast and it made me feel good. Not, hey, I was listening to it because I needed background noise while I was driving or something like that. Like, I want to make you laugh. I want to make you cry. I want to make you pee your pants, whatever you need to do in order to kind of just feel something other than what you're feeling. Because I do it a lot. When I'm at the gym, I do have other podcasts that I'm listening to. And I know if I'm in my head, listening to music doesn't get me out of my head. It doesn't do shit for me. It doesn't shit for me.
If anything, it might amplify.
It'll amplify what I'm feeling. If I'm on the drive to and from somewhere, I need to stay the fuck out of my head, because I've got my demons. I won't go into my 7 steps due just to time restrictions.
Next time.
Yeah, but I'm not one to very advertise my emotions too much, just because I do have a lot of shit that I go through. Anger being one of the highest things that I deal with. It's the reason why I used to fight and do MMA and jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, to get my aggressions out. So my way of suppressing it to where I don't have these demons build up, because my temper, when I get there, like starting today, my temper, I was taking it out on every little fucking thing, and it was inconsistency with me. I have a thing to where if I plan something out and the smallest thing changes it, and it's something that I'm not doing, I flip my shit. I'll Hulk smash through everything. And it happens so many times to where if it starts to become a snowball effect, everybody get the fuck out of my way. I will kill through anything I need to. And it's something that I know personally I need to work on, just because I'm not getting any better with it. So what I'll do in order to help with these podcasts and stuff like that, or I'll listen to other podcasts. Their comedy, their life, and stuff that's going on with them entertains me to get my mind to get the fuck out of what I'm thinking
Exactly.
So
it gives you perspective.
I'm hoping that with these episodes and these podcasts, even if you are just putting it on the back burner, it'll get your head out of, all right, the shit going on in my life isn't that serious, because these guys are talking about rim. What did I say? Not rim jobs. What did I say?
No, you said rim jobs.
Did I say? You said rim jobs. They're talking about rim jobs as friends, as your outside friends. I want you to do that. I want you to go to your friends that aren't your friends. It's like, hey, so are you a best friend or are you a rim job? And then they'll look at you and be like, well, if they laugh at you, that means that's a best friend. That's a friend that's willing to be in the circle. But if they give you a dirty ass look and they're like, why the fuck would you say that? That's a rim job.
Are you a dirty Sanchez?
Yeah, you're that outside friend that I'll have a communication with you every once in a while, but now you're calling me a rim job, so it's not worth it.
They're a fair weather friend.
Fair weather friend, yeah. They pass the time.
They're only around when shit's going good, and that's the shit you got to be out careful for. But you know what? Don't worry about it, guys, because guess what? We're not going anywhere.
We're here.
We have more than enough content to bring you guys. And guess what? We'll be back again with another episode. So stay tuned.
We're doubling them up.
And so, okay, I hope you're ready.
Yeah.
Are you ready, Lynn?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, I hope you're ready. You know how this goes. In 3, 2, 1. Keep your head in the motherfucking clouds.
And keep your feet on the ground, always pushing.
This is D.
And this is Lynn.
Project Airwaves signing out. Wear your face condoms.
Wear your mask.